How do fandoms become borderline cultish? Do you all remember when the whole Hailey Selena eyebrow fiasco happened last year? If yes, feel free to skip this part, but for those of you who don't know, the internet went wild and Hailey Bieber got ripped to shreds by Selenators. Selena mentioned on TikTok that she had over-laminated her eyebrows. Shortly after, Kylie Jenner posted a close-up photo of her eyebrows, which some fans interpreted as a jab at Selena. Kylie also shared a screenshot from a FaceTime call with Hailey Bieber zooming in on their eyebrows, further fueling the speculation among fans that they were mocking Selena. The online community reacted strongly with accusations of shade-throwing and mean girl behavior at both Hailey Bieber and Kylie Jenner. Kylie publicly denied all of the allegations and said that people were blowing it out of proportion and that she did not even see Selena's post, to which Selena responded, "Agreed, it's all unnecessary, I'm a fan of Kylie." She said this after liking and commenting on TikToks which insinuated that Hailey and Kylie were mean girls and mocked Selena's eyebrows. This led to Hailey Bieber receiving a ton of death threats and hate online that she had to request Selena to reach out to her fan base and ask them to stop the unwarranted hate. Selena urged her fans to stop, stating that threatening Hailey isn't what I stand for and that no one should have to experience hate or bullying. Sending death threats to a person you don't even personally know just because they seem to have vaguely made fun of your favorite singer's eyebrows? If that's not peak cult behavior, what is? There's a pattern with Selena that we've noticed. She seemingly unintentionally fuels the outrage of her fans by liking and commenting on TikToks of Hailey being a quote-unquote bully. Just before coming out and preaching kindness, even after knowing full well how aggressive and passionate her fans can be, especially when it comes to her and Hailey. This is just one example of a celebrity weaponizing their power and influence over their fandom in ways that can benefit them. I will go in depth about another well-known pop star who has mastered the art of parasocial relationships later in the video, so stay tuned. For now, let's look into the parallel between cults and modern-day fandoms. A cult is typically a small group devoted to a person, idea, or philosophy. It's characterized by its members' unwavering devotion to a set of beliefs and practices which are usually led by a charismatic and self-appointed leader. Cults can also refer to movements considered unorthodox by mainstream society. The terms cult and fandom are often used in popular culture, sometimes interchangeably, to describe groups of people ardently devoted to a particular figure, idea, or work. While the two concepts share commonalities, they also have distinct differences that set them apart. This video delves into the similarities that often lead to the conflation of cults and fandoms. Both cults and fandoms provide a community where individuals can feel a sense of belongingness. Members often share a common passion or interest that becomes a significant part of their identity. Cults are typically centered around a charismatic leader who commands devotion from followers. Similarly, fandoms often elevate creators, actors, or characters to a pedestal, celebrating their work and persona. Cults and fandoms both engage in rituals, whether it's a cult's secretive ceremonies or a fandom's convention and release parties. They also have symbols that signify membership and loyalty, such as a specific attire or language. Members of both groups often exhibit strong emotional attachments to the group's focus, which can sometimes lead to extreme behaviors in defense of the group or its ideals. Despite these similarities, it's crucial to recognize the differences that distinguish a healthy fandom from a potentially harmful cult. While fandoms encourage individual expression and critique within the community, cults often demand unquestioning loyalty and may isolate members from outside influences. Fandoms can foster creativity, positive engagement, and enabling us to meet like-minded people who share similar interests to us. However, sometimes it may become borderline cultish, and they may manipulate members for their benefit of the leadership and selfish goals, sometimes leading to destructive outcomes, with pulling each other down and stuck in the cycle of not only obsession and self-destruction, but harm to others. The line between fandom and cult can sometimes seem blurred due to shared characteristics like a sense of community, charismatic figures, and emotional investment. However, the key difference lies in the nature of the relationships within the group, the level of control exerted by leadership, and the openness of the community. Having self-awareness and understanding these nuances is essential in distinguishing between the two and recognizing the potential for positive or negative impacts on individuals and society. The cultish characteristics of fandoms could be a result of parasocial relationships they form with their so-called leader. In the digital age, the lines between reality and media blur, giving rise to a unique form of emotional connection known as parasocial relationships. These one-sided relationships are formed between an individual and a media persona, such as a celebrity, influencer, or fictional character. Unlike traditional relationships, parasocial relationships are not reciprocal. The media figure is typically unaware of the individual's existence. The concept of parasocial relationships was first introduced by psychologists Donald Horton and R. Richard Hall. In 1956, they observed that as television became more widespread, viewers began to form intimate bonds with characters and personalities on the screen. This illusion of intimacy is at the heart of parasocial relationships. A few days ago, I asked you all who among these celebrities was the most influential. 65% of you chose Taylor Swift, and the most toxic fandom, according to 42% of you all, were Swifties. So I sat down to analyze why many people might think this way. While it is not the entire fan base that's toxic, there's always a subsect of every fan base that is. It is a recurring theme and always present to a certain degree. At the start of Taylor Swift's career, she was a wide-eyed country singer writing songs about her love life as a young adult. She grew a strong fan base with audiences who could strongly relate to her experiences. Swift's music acts as emotional touchstones for her fans, creating a shared journey of love and loss. Her songs, which often weave tales of love, heartbreak, and self-discovery, resonate deeply with her audience. This shared emotional experience strengthens the bond between Swift and her fans, making them feel like they are a part of an intimate conversation with their friend. Taylor Swift's fans often perceive her as a friend or confidant despite the one-sided nature of the interaction. Swift has mastered the art of fostering this bond through her music, social media presence, and public persona, giving fans a sense of intimacy and involvement in their life. This relationship is not just emotionally significant, it has tangible impacts on her career as seen in the mobilization of her fan base to support projects like her re-recorded albums, turning what could be seen as old music into new profits. Swift's ability to maintain this connection, making each and every fan feel individually appreciated while collectively loving them, is a testament to her understanding of the power of parasocial relationships in the modern era of celebrity culture. This and her music talent combined shot her to a whole other level of fame. More than a decade-long success, she soon realized that the support of her fans has been one of the strongest things giving her elasticity in the industry. Musically and otherwise, especially after the whole Kanye West and Kim debacle that happened after the Grammys, she was able to make a strong comeback due to the persistence of her fandom. During the 1989 era, she went above and beyond to please Swifties by inviting her most hardcore loyal fans over to her own house for an album listening party way before its release. Not only that, she memorized all the little details about their lives, sent them gifts, handwritten letters. This encouraged the rest of her fans to step up their game so they too could one day be invited to Taylor's house and spend time with her. One could say these gestures are the epitome of humbleness and appreciation for her fan base and people who support by consuming her music. The reality is that she very clearly does profit off of their consumption of her music, merch, and undying support backing her every move. Swift's most vocal fans are also her most staunch defenders and fail to acknowledge some of her irresponsible behaviors like the overuse of private jets, leaving behind carbon footprints drastically outweighing the average person's. Swifties are generally harmless and naive. They only resort to being toxic when somebody, quote-unquote, comes for their idol. Like that time during the whole album mastery situation when Swifties resorted to bully Scooter Braun and his family, with going as far as giving them death threats. Yet Taylor continues to fuel their strong, undying emotions and loyalty with the connection that she has strategically created over the years with her fans in order to get them to do anything for her. She does not shy away from asking what she requires and expects of her fans at any given time. This says more about human nature than it does about the fandoms, but the toxicity of some fandoms can and has been seen to increase by how the leader of the fanbase chooses to deal with it or influence them for better or worse. As Swift continues to navigate the complexities of fame, her understanding and utilization of parasocial relationships remain a key element of her enduring popularity and influence.
I don't believe that she hates her fans or is simply using them, but I think it's important to recognize that interacting with her fans is part of her job. It has become so integral to her work that despite being hunted by crazed fans, she continues to feed into the mania surrounding her and her music.
Coupled with the fact that Taylor is chronically online and known for engaging with her fans across social media, there is a specific type of fan that will go to extreme lengths to defend her behavior, especially to defend white womanhood, because there is a chance that Taylor will see those defenses and once again pluck them out of obscurity and make them her bestie.
Swifties are just an example and are still quite tame compared to K-pop fans. Fandoms in East Asia in general is a whole other can of worms. Let me know if you want me to deep dive into it in another video. Even if a celebrity gives you attention or shows up at your birthday as a heart-touching gesture, it's still more about them than it's about you, and is a result of an imbalance in power dynamics. If your favorite idol actually cared about their fandom unconditionally, all their music and work would be free. But that's a foolish business move. While I'm not questioning the integrity of the artist and the love for their craft, they do it with the best of intentions, but the core part of their career is business after all, and there's nothing wrong with that. It would not be reasonable to demand an artist to just give away years of their hard work for free to millions of strangers. Parasocial relationships are popular within online communities, and this may be due to the increased sense of knowing the personas, or the perception of parasocial interactions as having a high reward and no chance of rejection. For many people, these one-sided relationships become easier to maintain as it's purely one-sided and requires little to no effort from them to actually form a connection by having meaningful conversations or engage in acts that may result in bonding between two humans. This minimizes the risk factor of relationships for you, or may give you the satisfaction of having a relationship while without even being in one. In this digital age, many people who suffer from loneliness, lack of goals, and mental illnesses start resorting to having these relationships with their favorite celebrity. Historically, this was viewed as pathological and a symptom of loneliness and isolation and social anxieties. However, one study found that there may not always be a correlation between loneliness and the intensity of the viewer's parasocial relationship with on-screen characters. But that doesn't mean that's always the case. Other research has decreased the stigma of such relationships and led experts to believe that parasocial relationships are important to viewers and in many cases advantageous because of their support that the viewer gains from the relationship. Think about it. The paparazzi exists because of high demand and obsession we have with celebrity culture and drama. They thrive off of celebrity content. My YouTube channel, in a way or the other, has hints of parasocial in it too. I make videos related to famous people because that's what my audience wants to see. To be honest, it's a great opportunity for me to garner attention and redirect it towards things that matter. We all are in parasocial relationships in some form or the other with media personalities, musicians, sportspersons, public figures, or even fictional characters that are completely man-made. Ask yourself if you experienced a one-sided bond with someone who doesn't even know you exist. Ask yourself if it's having a tangible impact on your quality of life and decisions. Step back and acknowledge that your idol is just as flawed as the next person and that they're not infallible by any means. Appreciate and praise them for their talent, art, or persona, but a hopeless, one-sided obsession is downright pitiful. You as a fan must be careful to not cross the boundaries between healthy and unhealthy parasocial relationships. Celebrities are also responsible for manifesting these relationships in the most positive way possible. After a certain age, blind love for your favorite singer disappears anyway. But if your love for your idol interferes with your everyday life and stops your ability to make new friends or mingle with people who share different ideas from you, then you're falling into a deep end. If you replace real people with fictional characters or celebrities in your life to feel social inclusion and bonding, then there might be a problem. You might be in a cult without even knowing it.